Hello guys, today I'm gonna tell you 14 quirky and interesting facts about the USA. The USA is a vast country and one that's incredible to explore. I mean, there's not that many countries that span for thousands of miles and include tropical and Arctic climates in one place and still have room for plenty of interesting facts. From the shores of Florida and epic cities like New York and San Francisco, the whole country has got loads to see. What's even more interesting is the huge mix of cultures, breathtaking natural landscapes, and interesting facts that have made the USA the USA. It doesn't matter if you live in the United States, it's your first visit, or you have visited gazillions of times. There's always some pretty interesting facts to know. I swear, I always learn something new about the US on every visit, and I just have to share some gems that I thought you would find proper intriguing. Take a look at some of the most interesting facts and quirky things to do in the USA. Number 1. New York was once New Amsterdam. Before New York was New York, it was called New Amsterdam as a settlement by the Dutch that chose to settle in Manhattan. The name New York only came into being later in the 17th century, when those pesky English who captured it. The name New York was to pay tribute to Duke of York, who helped in capturing it. Today you can still see plaques of where New Amsterdam's wall was built in 1653. Definitely an interesting fact on Wall Street, no less. Number 2. There's a place made totally out of corn. Yep, you can actually visit a life-sized corn palace in the USA. It sounds like something legends are made of, but I assure you it's true. I couldn't quite believe it when I saw it in person. I mean, a palace you can potentially eat. Number 3. The Statue of Liberty speaks French. Okay, but the Statue of Liberty was actually a gift from the people of France to the United States in 1886. Possibly the most iconic symbol of the United States, the Statue of Liberty is one iconic piece of history you have to see when in New York. Funnily enough, the US then decided to give the French a slightly smaller Statue of Liberty as a gift 3 years later. This can now be seen proudly standing at Pont de Grenelle in Paris. Maybe the American version talks with a New Yorker twang, who knows. Number 4. Alaska was once Russian. Back in the earlier parts of the 19th century, Alaska was not part of the USA. In fact, it was a part of Russia. It wasn't until it was sold off to the Americans that it became a US territory. It was not until almost 100 years later, in 1959, that Alaska actually became a state. The state now has numerous national parks and even the tallest mountain in the USA, called Denali. Number 5. The Liberty Bell is from London, possibly one of the USA's most symbolic pieces from the American independence. The Liberty Bell still survives for us all to visit. Perched in the Liberty Bell Center in Pennsylvania, it's a spot where you can learn more about American independence and such. Interestingly and pretty unusual facts, the Liberty Bell was actually made in the same place as Big Ben in London. The Whitechapel Bell Foundry made both bells and is one of the oldest privately owned bell makers in the world. You can still visit the Whitechapel Bell Foundry today. Just make sure you get across the pond to London. Number 6. There is a shop inside a dinosaur's tummy. The dinosaurs of Cabazon were originally created to entice customers to a restaurant. Now they have become a thing to see in their own right. These sketch dinosaurs are nostalgic throwback to the 1970s. Nowadays you can still visit the dinosaurs and even shop within the tummy of Dinny the dinosaur. Number 7. The Golden Gate Bridge never stops getting a makeover. Did you know that the Golden Gate Bridge is one of the West Coast's most iconic man-made landmarks that's forever being made over? It's one amazing place to see, especially from the Golden Gate Bridge Vista Point. Due to its sheer size, the bridge actually never stops getting painted and is always getting itself a little makeover for us all to enjoy. After all, we all want to look our best, right? Number 8. London Bridge is in Arizona. Now, almost 200 years ago, this was the case, but things change with time, don't they? By the 1960s, the city of Lake Havasu, Arizona was on the scout for a new bridge, and hearing that London Bridge was up for auction, decided to put in a bid to bring it to their city. After all, who wouldn't want those iconic towers and opening arches, right? Wrong. That's Tower Bridge in London. It's purported that McCulloch, who bought the bridge, thought it was Tower Bridge, though this was totally denied by him. Whatever the case, London Bridge now sits happily in Arizona. Much less rain and fog for sure. Number 9. You can find lots of secret spots in New York. Places like City Hall Station are stunning, and although you can't always visit them, they do exist beneath the sidewalks. The whole city is awash with little nooks and alleys that are hidden in plain sight. Just scratch the surface of the city and I guarantee you will find a gold mine of new and secret New York spots to explore. Number 10. There are 43 giant presidential heads. Hidden in Houston, Texas was one of the most bizarre sights to see. Giant presidential heads, around 15 feet high. There's a whole heap of these carved presidential heads. That's once called an old parking lot home. I mean, it was a sight to behold, especially in such an underwhelming parking lot. Number 11. The USA has the longest cave system in the world. Just scratch the surface of Kentucky and you will come across some incredible natural sights to explore. For instance, the Mammoth Cave National Park actually has the longest cave system in the world, and a place that's great to visit. Just make sure to pack some comfy walking shoes. Number 12. The North Pole is in Alaska. The tiny town of North Pole in Alaska is a Christmassy little place that embraces everything, festive 365 days a year. Visit Santa in his grotto. See the elves at work and drive down Santa Claus Lane. I mean, who knew there was a North Pole in the USA? Number 13. Hawaii is the only archipelago state. Hawaii is an incredibly beautiful volcanic archipelago, consisting of numerous islands that each have their own charm. Interestingly, it's the only US state that's solely made up of islands. Number 14. There is a wigwam hotel to stay in. First created in 1950s Arizona, the wigwam hotel is a total nostalgic idea of quirky hotels from times gone by. Still to this day, you can rock up and stay for the night. Just make sure to book in advance as the rooms fill up fast.